always wait for you to cut me off.
Nope, I did not, Jen.
No, I know that's why I was banging it, because I was hoping you'd be talking, but you weren't.
Nope.
No. All right, everybody. Welcome to this episode of So Much JENergy. Mercury and Gatorade.
It is too, isn't it?
Yeah. It's me, Jenny McKinney. I'm here with my host, my co-host, brother, Jeff Jones, JEPH.
Yes, it is, Jen. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and you're back.
I'm here.
Yes. All right. So this episode is a very special episode that we're going to be talking about. We're going to have, so stay tuned after this. We're going to kind of talk about the new bonus content that you have created. Why don't we start talking about that? How to go with Ronnie motherfucker Jones.
Jen, it went phenomenal.
He is so excited about it.
It went as good as you could think of, sitting at a desk interviewing, and not interviewing so much as talking to Ron Jones about horseshoes, cornhole, everything.
Yeah.
It's what you would think.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because I talked to him last week and he was like, yeah, it went pretty good. I was excited. I was just wondering how many people listen. And I was like, Dad, it's recorded.
I kept telling him while we were recording that it's not live.
Yeah.
He's like, because he'd lean in and be like, hey, should I talk about this? Like, Dad, you can just talk to me. I'm right here. I don't know if you want people to hear me saying that, or, should I say this and this? Yeah. Dad, you can say whatever you want. It's not live. No one's listening right now. He didn't get under. He was so nervous though, recording. When we sat down, Jen, he was so nervous. He threw off my energy, threw off everything, and right off the get, he was real robotic. I don't know if he thought I don't know.
No, he took it. He's like, it was just like I was being interviewed, and I took it very serious. And I was like,
Jen. He took it very serious. I will say the first half of it is him being very serious, trying to answer questions correctly and talking and real methodically.
Yeah.
But then by the end of it, he loosened up. And after we stopped recording, how he was acting and talking, it was like, why were you like that on there? He's like, I didn't know how you wanted me to. Since then, we've talked about it. He's come out of his shell. He's called me almost every other day and just talked about that. Just talked about what he wants to, cover in future episodes, how he liked that episode. He likes this. Oh, Jen, it was too much. So much Jef'n Ron. So much Jef'n Ron.
Yeah. Oh my God, that guy. Yeah. Super fun. So stay tuned for that. This will be a one-time play on the So Much JENergy podcast for that, because we will be offering that
to Patreon listeners, but we will throw the first episode of So Much Jef'n Ron will be after this episode.
Yes.
Yep.
And we have, in addition to the Jef'n Ron announcement and the show after this, we have a fun new opportunity for our listeners. We are offering a $35 membership. It's a 1-year membership. And for the that was me putting that I think so. It is for a year.
You seemed unsure, but it is.
It's for 1 year, and it's going to include all the Jef'n Ron episodes on that platform.
Hopefully one episode a month, but from the amount that Dad's been calling me, he wants to try to do 2 a month eventually.
Yeah.
At least. He actually thought it was every week. He thought we were going to be doing this every week. I told him no, even though I told him repeatedly that day, once a month. I said, once a month, Dad. It's once a month. Come on.
Yeah.
But he wants
now he's all excited.
It seems like he wants to do it more often than that. So at minimal, once a month episode.
Yes. And there is a special opportunity for the first 5 people that sign up. You will get a free Jef'n Ron t-shirt.
Yep. Jen, I got the shirt on here. Can you describe it? If I stand up here, give it a description.
Yeah. Okay. It says So Much Jef'n Ron. It's got a alien spaceship with a light beam, and in the light beam is Sasquatch or Bigfoot or whatever you call it, and then a movie camera.
That's right, Jen.
Super cool.
Yep. Says So Much JENergy at the bottom, somuchjenergy.com. So Much Jeff and Ron t-shirt to the first 5 people that sign up for the $35 a year membership.
Yeah.
When they sign up,
And-
do they, oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, do they get a free sticker?
Yeah, they get a free sticker when they sign up. And randomly throughout the year, we're going to send just random gifts to people. And anytime we do a live show, the members will get 2 free tickets to a live event that we'll be at.
Yep.
So the intention is for our membership funds to be put back into the podcast so that we can continue to look for sponsorships and work on different aspects of the podcast.
Yep. Try to find more listeners. All the money will go to bettering the podcast, allowing us to advertise. That was one thing we wanted to do more this year, was advertise the podcast. And after discussing it, we thought this would be a good way to try to drum up funds for getting advertising, getting
Right.
our show advertised on other platforms, on other networks.
Yeah. And just expansion. We just
Yep.
want to expand and share good times, motivation, and funny material with the world.
Yep.
Yeah. So we will also have 2 other levels that we're going to be adding. So we'll have, in addition to the $35 membership, we're going to have a $50 sponsor where you pay one time $50, and for 4 times in that month, so for the 4 shows in 1 month, you can have a note or a business advertised. A note could be,
Yep. Hey, happy anniversary, Karen.
yeah, or
Love George.
Yep.
I don't know.
Right. All right.
It really could be like, hey, we're having a garage sale at 34 Wincott Lane.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
You can advertise anything you want.
Yeah. Whatever you need us to say, it's $50 for 4 times for that month. It's
Yep, every
awesome because
episode
if you
that
have
month.
a class, or let's say you have something coming up in a month or even next week, we can get that out there for you.
That's
we
right.
are going to offer a sponsorship plus.
Oh,
Jeff Jones. It's going to be a
Oh.
sponsorship plus. So you will get 6 months of advertising, and that will be bi-weekly.
so
So-
2 episodes a month for 6 months.
Yes, for
Nice.
$100.
Oh, good deal. And that's a one-time fee, $100.
One time, $100. Yep, for a 6 months advertisement bi-weekly.
All right. So then let me run through that again with you and make sure I
Okay.
wrote this all down right. So for $35 a month, or $35 one-time fee,
One time.
buys you a membership for a year.
Yes.
And in that membership, you get the first five people that sign up get a free So Much Jeff and Ron t-shirt.
Yes.
Everybody that signs up gets a decal, a sticker,
Yeah,
So
they'll
Much
get a
JENergy
sticker. They'll
sticker.
get a So Much JENergy sticker.
They also get 2 free tickets to any live show we have over the course of a year, plus extra bonus content besides So Much Jeff and Ron, anything else.
Yeah, we have some fun stuff in the works. Like, I don't want to tell you because it's
I think we should talk about the bingo.
okay.
I'm psyched about the bingo.
Really? Okay,
I
let's
think so.
talk about it.
All right.
Okay.
What we've come up with
for
is
members. Yes.
Yep, 4 members, you will get a bingo card in the mail. And then hopefully our goal is once a month, we're going to do a Zoom bingo with the Patreon listeners. We're playing bingo over Zoom, hopefully having special guest callers like Ron Jones, Spindy, anybody we can, guests that we have on the
Right.
show, we'll get them to come back and be bingo callers.
Yes.
And then during playing bingo, we'll still be giving stuff away every game.
Yes. Yes.
Nice. I'm excited about that. I think bingo will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good time. I'm
I
just
think so.
excited to be able to see people on Zoom that are like members and supporters, and we get to just hang out for a
know.
little bit during the month.
Hilarious.
Yeah, good times, good times. It'll be like our own little Muppets screen. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You know how like maybe we all have to like walk in sideways or come in
That's
through
just-
the back.
But Zoom bingo is just one of the things we have in the works for the Patreon members at the $35 level.
Yes.
Then at the $50 level, one time $50 will get you a mention in every episode for 1 month, whether it's a
Yes.
business, a personal message, a future endeavor, a class you're holding,
Yes.
anything like that at $50 a month. Then at
Right.
$100, one time $100 fee, it'll get mentioned every other episode for 6 months.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. And how do you sign up? Where do you go? Great question.
That's how I need to write this down, Jen. I need you to tell me.
You can go to Patreon. So it's Patreon. Okay. Patreon.com /So Much JENergy, all one word.
Patreon.com /So Much JENergy.
Yeah. And that'll take you right to our Patreon. You'll see our content page. You'll see information on there. And then hopefully you're one of the first five. You won't know until I email and say, hey, congratulations. What's your t-shirt size?
What's your t-shirt size? Jen, I will say on this shirt, it says So Much Jeff and Ron. It has the UFO.
Yeah.
We talk about this on the first episode of So Much Jeff and Ron, but it was cracking me up so much that I got to mention it again.
Oh my God.
It's got the UFO with the tractor beam.
Yeah.
And in the tractor beam, I asked Dad, like, hey, what's on this shirt? Can you describe it? He's like, oh, it's a UFO tractor beam. It's got Bigfoot. And then it's got ET over here. I go, ET? He kept saying the movie camera looks like ET. I didn't expect him to say that. And now when I look at it, that's what I see. So it's cracking me up. It's too much. Up.
So when I called him last week to see how did the podcast recording go, he's like, oh, it went pretty good. Did you see the t-shirts? And I was like, yeah, I did. But I told him no, because I wanted to see what he was going to say about it. And he starts telling me the same thing. He's like, it looked like ET to me. Like, okay.
Jen, I'm not going to lie. It was so much fun to be able to sit down with Dad.
Yeah.
And it's funny because this is a lot of stuff that him and I would talk about when he's working on his cornhole boards or working on his puzzle or something at his house. And I'm just hanging out drinking coffee.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that like randomly he will ask me. And I thought like it would be fun to put this into some kind of a short podcast episode just because like the first episode, I'm not, spoiler alert, we talk about, well, let me ask you this. Let me say this first. Take all that out. Jen, but just having the opportunity to sit there and hang out with Dad and record the episode is a lot like hanging out with him at his house when he's working on cornhole boards and things of that nature. The first episode, we talk about the history of horseshoes, which is something he has asked me in the garage. Hey, how do you think horseshoes have started? Like, oh, let me Google it while I'm standing here smoking a cigarette. So I Google it, give him the history of horseshoes. It's random stuff like that in his garage that he talks about. And that's what gave me kind of the idea for the premise behind So Much Jeff and Ron, which is him and I having light discussion. I say light discussion loosely, a light discussion about the histories, mysteries, and movies. We cover those three topics every episode: histories, mysteries, and movies. The history of an event or a person or of an item, a mystery, which could be anything. I've already got a good idea of one I think I'm going to throw at him on the second episode.
Yeah.
And then the movie, which is the most recent one Dad covered. I do want to add, again, at the end of the So Much Jeff and Ron episode, I ask him what's another movie he'd like to cover in the next episode. And I wasn't a big fan of his answer, Jen. I like his answer. I like the movie, but I really want him to, my goal is to try to get him to broaden his spectrum of movies that he watches.
Oh no, that's
because his answer was, I'll watch anything with Stallone, Jason Statham, Russell Crowe, Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris. Dad, that's not really expanding. They will not.
The genre. It's all the same genre.
I'm just letting the listeners know going forward, it's not going to all be Sylvester Stallone movies.
Yeah.
It's not going to all be, I'm going to try to get them to watch like other movies is my goal.
Yeah.
Like, and get him to talk.
But then he'll be like, don't interrupt me. I'm doing research for the podcast.
Oh, he would, Jen. I'd love to get him to watch Citizen Kane or, you know what I mean?
Right.
12. Yeah. Oh yeah. Just get him to watch a classic movie and get his take on those movies is my goal. Also, I think
though, when the thought, like the very first visual that pops in my head when we think about this is like him, like, can you see my face when he's like,
oh yeah, everything he does is with his eyes. He's always constantly like looking at you like,
And he always has like one finger in between his tooth, like his fingernail in between his teeth. And then he looks at you sideways like what the hell?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jen. But there's gonna be things in future episodes I've already made a bunch of notes about that I'm gonna throw at Dad. A couple of times there's questionnaires.
Okay.
At the end of the episode, I'm gonna hit him with a questionnaire. One of
Yeah.
them, I'm gonna hit him with the. I think we're gonna do some kind of action star fantasy tournament where I'm gonna
Oh,
make him like I'm gonna throw two people at him, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. Who would win?
yeah.
And kind of like that. And
Okay.
he'll be like, "Oh, well, for this reason, Stallone has to win." All right, Stallone versus Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Steven, like the winner of that. And I think in the future we're gonna do some kind of ridiculous '80s action star bracket. And I'm gonna
Oh,
and we're gonna
snap.
narrow it down
Yeah.
to see who he
Yeah.
would pick a fantasy sidekick. But stuff like that is what I
Yeah.
want to really incorporate into So Much Jeff and Iran,
Yeah.
besides the light discussion of histories, mysteries, and movies.
I feel like because he keeps saying like, because in April he's gonna be 70, right?
Yes, he
And
is.
so he keeps saying like, "Oh, do you think I should retire?" And I'm like, "I don't know, Dad. Do what you want." You know what I mean? The guy he cleans buildings. Technically, he retired at 48 from GM,
In
and
the
then
year
he just
2000.
needed, yeah, he just needed to be busy, and he's been cleaning buildings.
He's been cleaning buildings for 22 years after he retired. And he's still doing it. And he does cornhole on the side,
Yeah.
puzzles. Once a week, I get him. He'll call me and be like, "You got anything at your house you're working on?"
Yeah.
Be like, "No, not really." He's like, "All right, well, I need you to come over and help me do this." What?
Yeah. Right. But that's what's funny because all of a sudden I just like can envision him telling Mom like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't be working after 70 because I'm on the podcast." You know what I mean? Like I got to be working on the podcast now.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. I think that's why if we got it to 2 episodes a month, I think he would spend a lot of his time looking up
Yes.
goofy stuff.
Yes. He's
Yep.
already obsessed with YouTube.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
But in a bad way.
That should be another segment as I ask him, like, look in your history. What's the most recent YouTube video you've watched? Just hit it. I just want to see what it is. And I know.
Why were you looking up Rainbow Bright's horse name?
I have a feeling it would be like train derailments.
Yeah.
Or it'll be just something out there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's too much, but
This
eventually
guy.
that's what I'm going to pull him out of his shell and get him to converse on the podcast like he does in person in his garage.
Yeah. I wish we could just like put a microphone on him while he's in the garage. You know what I mean?
I know a couple times I might just record him while we're talking in the garage and try to work that into some kind of So Much Jeff and the Ron segment where it's, like Jeff and the Ron in the raw.
Yeah. It's almost like he seizes up the minute you give him a microphone.
He does. Or even if he's at his house on Zoom and we've had him on here in the past, he acts real robotic. But like when you're sitting at a kitchen table or out in the garage or in the car, him being him is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Which is
I do remember one time in Michigan, we had a game night and our one friend could not stop laughing at Dad because, I mean, he's funny, but she said, "I can't take him serious because I've heard you talk like him for 10 years. Like we worked together."
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, "All I can hear is you acting like him, but it's him."
Yeah.
She's like, "I thought you were making that up the whole time." And I was like, "No, that's how he talks."
Jen, we had some people over on New Year's Eve. We had a couple friends and stuff over on New Year's Eve and just to play games and do things and whatnot. And then the next day or two, my wife had messaged or they had messaged and said, like a number of them messaged and said, "Oh, we had so much fun playing games. We're glad Ron was there. Oh, we had so much playing games. Jeff's dad cracked me up." It's like, I don't know. I felt like he was like having a special guest there. Just like when people do get to witness him being him.
Right.
That's magic.
Yeah.
And that's my goal with So Much Jeff and Iran is to get him talking about stuff that interests him and people would find interesting, not just to him and I.
Right. But it's based on his perspective and then he tells you why.
Right. Like ultimately, like historical event or even a mystery. I'd like to start getting him talk about JFK because he knows where he was and what he was doing when JFK was assassinated.
Yeah.
I'd like to get him to tell other people like what he was telling me, just his own outtake on that. Like that was a big deal back then.
Yeah. The other thing too is like he is Rain Man with birth dates and ages and numbers.
Yes, he knows dates. He is a Rain Man when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Like you can ask him, when somebody like was somebody born on a Tuesday or something, like he will know the date and about it.
Right.
Like he knows everybody's age, what they are right now.
Yes.
At the
Yep.
time, I don't even know how old I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to emphasize though, again, Jen,
Yeah.
is to get the episodes of So Much Jeff and Ron,
Yeah.
people need to sign up for the $35 membership, one-time fee
Right.
for a year. Get the episodes So Much Jeff and Ron. You get a chance to get a t-shirt. Throughout the year, you're going to have numerous opportunities to win
Yes.
other t-shirts, other things,
Yeah.
tickets to live shows, all sorts of stuff. Zoom
Yeah.
bingo. We have a lot of
Yes.
stuff in the works. I'd eventually like to have a Zoom horse racing.
Oh yeah.
I know. I think that would be so much fun if we could
Yeah.
figure out a way to get the Patreon members different horse numbers and let them name the horses, and we'll have
Yeah.
horse racing.
Right. Right.
Things like that, I think would be a
Ooh.
lot of fun.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, I know that we're going to put that other episode on there. Do you want to go to Pep in the Step or that's it?
I don't really have anything for Pep in my step.
Oh,
right
that's
now.
okay. We'll just cut this. I'll just cut this out, and then we'll just be like, "All right, cool."
All right, stay tuned for the
Stay
first
tuned
episode.
for the episode.
Yeah, just jump in there with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And scene.